T-minus 20 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Let's get ready to sucker!
Diamonds in my teeth, I got a lot of shine. Running up the number, that's a lot of crime. Try to take it from me, must be out your mind. I'm big time, lot of slime. Smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Pockets running over with the dollar sign. Try to take it from me, yeah. Big time, big time, big time. Running up the numbers, that's a lot of crime. Try to take it from me, must be out your mind. Lot of shine. Smoky in the air, that's a lot of crime. Pockets running over with the dollar signs. Try to take it from me. Big time. I got a lot of shine. Running up the numbers, that's a lot of grind. Try to take it from me, must be out your mind. I'm big time, lot of shine. Smoky in the air, that's a lot of crime. Pockets running over with the dollar sign. Try to take it from me, from me, from me. Big time, number 9. Diamonds in my teeth, I got a lot of shine. Running up the numbers, that's a lot of grind. Try and take it from me, must be out your mind.
And welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We are on the campus of Beaver Local High School. DJ Yoakley. We got Billy Mack. Quinn's over there doing something. And EB, I think, right?
Right here, present.
Present.
Anybody else?
We were flying blind. That's it. Quinn says that's it.
No, right.
Welcome to the YSN Power Hour. We appreciate you being with us here. This pop-up edition. It's Thursday, means that prime time's right around the corner. And Billy, we are on the scene of the game. The game. East Liverpool and Beaver Local set to do battle tomorrow night right here in this beautiful, brand new, spanking facility here in East Liverpool, Ohio. Two teams, one town. Only one winner.
I heard they don't like each other.
I listen, when one's red, one's blue, and they're sharing the same town, like it doesn't get better than that. Rivalry week in week 4, which is unbelievable to me. This is a week 10 game to me.
It's like Star Wars, the red saber and the blue saber.
Yeah, except for Luke had green in the last one.
I don't care about the green.
I like that. The green was the best one. Just say it. That was Jedi Luke. So,
Quinn, you know anything about the Star Wars edition, or we're talking about?
Not at all.
Zero.
I'm sitting here looking at two nerds. That's all.
Sitting in the shade, looking at two
I am
nerds.
sitting in the shade. It's
Yeah,
nice.
Quinn's like, hey, as long as we can have this pushed back and
Well,
make
hey,
sure that
that's the joy of having the equipment by you. You gotta stay in the shade.
you don't have to.
Quinn doesn't have mental toughness anyway.
Zero.
Listen here. The only reason I'm wearing sunglasses in the shade is to block the reflection coming off your head.
He's
Don't
talking to
start
you or
this.
me.
Not you, DJ.
2-on-1. Just
Yeah, I mean, easy on the ball jokes, dude.
It's all Billy.
I would drop kick you through that metal, whatever that is.
I'm your ride. You should be nice.
And
You
then
don't think he can drive?
No. He doesn't know where my keys are.
it's unlocked?
Weekend and Uncle
Nah,
Burns.
Still gotta have the keys.
I
to
can
go.
hot wire that thing real quick and in a hurry.
Is it wireless? Like you can go without entering a key, right? Oh, it is.
You have to have a key in the car.
Yeah, but if you were in the trunk and Billy was not,
No, I wouldn't read.
See,
It's got to be in the
You
front.
never
Key gotta
tried
be in the
that?
front.
you've tried that.
Yeah, I tried it with my sister.
That's incredible.
It's
First off,
National Sudoku Day.
I'm pretty sure she threw him into the trunk.
Guaranteed.
She was
I'm
in the
not going to
driver's
answer that.
It is National Sudoku Day. I am not a big proponent of Sudoku. If that's how you pronounce it, right? Sudoku.
Sure.
EB, are you in on Sudoku? Whatever it's called.
No, come on, man. That's now you get back to the Star Wars and you want to play a little Star Wars pinball. I got you both beat, but Sudoku or whatever the hell it is, no.
Yeah, we know, EB. You were showing off your talents at Birdfish in front of my lovely wife.
They're not talented.
Big pinball guy.
Wow. What are you doing over there?
Making sure the plug works.
Okay.
That's all.
Do you do Sudoku?
I do.
Do you really?
I do.
And we're the nerds.
We're talking about Star Wars, yeah.
Got Stanley Hudson over there doing a whole bunch of nothing.
It's just a bunch of numbers. That's all. It's like a number crossword. That's all.
I mean, it's hot. Like people like doing it.
Mhm. I
I've
got an
ne-
app for it.
There's not a chance you catch me doing Sudoku.
I don't know if I've ever played it.
I did once, and I was like, "This is just numbers. Like it's like crossword for numbers."
Is that like the minefield game where you press a button?
No, no, no.
No, that's mine. That's
Minesweeper.
No, Sudoku, you got to find. Okay.
Coming in
You,
hot.
you got to, yeah, good onside cover. You got to fit like the numbers 1 through 9 in a row and in the box that it's in. That makes sense.
Wow, that sounds amazing.
That's the most boring thing.
Don't
I
play
fell
with your
asleep.
lightsaber. Leave me alone.
At least I could
me
destroy souls with a lightsaber.
Why is it Thursdays go off the rails so quickly? Is it because we have no
Yes.
like? Okay, like we can't see anybody. We can't do it. Like we're flying blind. It is also a would you rather. So here's
Kate plays it too. Kate said that she plays it because me and her are smart.
you can handle that one.
Kate is
So there.
an actual nerd though. Like she's like freakishly intelligent.
I'm not.
We have this battle all the time at home. It's like, hey, I'm really book smart, and like she's not really street smart. But like her dad and her family are street smart. It's just not. She didn't get that gene. I don't know whose fault that is, but I'm the other way around. Street smart. Put me on the street, I'm good. In the classroom, hot mess.
What was your GPA in high school?
2.7.
So you're better than me. I was 2.4. Quinn, what were you?
It's
7.9?
something. I was 3 something.
I fit
Nothing
the 7 and the 9 in
Like,
the box.
We had a kid that had a 5.0 in high school. That was the valedictorian for us, for my grade.
How?
Honors classes.
Honors classes, CCP.
It was like CCP and all that stuff. You get like
Yeah.
on the 5 scale, I think. It was weird. I don't know.
I feel like you got a worse chance if you're on a 5 scale.
For
right?
me, it was just about just being lazy though.
She was
Like I was
she was
just not.
insanely smart.
I wasn't about that life.
I didn't
Yeah,
I didn't like classes. Like it had nothing to do with what I wanted to do in life.
I just did enough to like play sports.
What was your favorite? I mean, you obviously not a good student. Neither were I. Neither was I. See, neither were I. What was your favorite class?
Surprisingly, the one that I actually like failed. I actually got kicked out of the class. This is a true story. I got kicked out of the class because I was a dick. And it was my government
Kate
history
was on
class.
the 5.0 scale, by the way. She said it was 4.2 was her GPA.
So like government, which the next semester it would come over to like a general studies, social studies type of class. That was my favorite class.
Isn't
History.
that the class you just had to like show up for and do some?
Again, I got kicked out. That's why I failed the class.
How could it be your favorite class if you don't want to be there?
Because I would always argue, and I
It's
would
the only
be.
class you can actually
So
leave
I was
for.
obnoxious in school, and I would just like argue with the teacher just to argue with the teacher. It could be like, "Hey, 2 + 2 today is 4," and I'm like, "Nah, it's 5." Look, carry the 1 and do this.
That guy.
Yeah, it's that guy.
That guy.
Still am that guy.
EB, what was your favorite class in school?
Probably history. history, social studies, Western Civ, POD, anything to deal with that. And then I had to follow it up English. But trust me, GPA, I think I graduated, with a 2.3. So got me beat, DJ.
That a boy. Not the lowest. We were on a 3-point scale, right? That's the way it went.
Look, it's so we didn't pay attention very well. I'd say we turned out okay.
I was on the dean's list in college, so it made up for it.
I wasn't on the dean's list, that's for damn sure. I was on, hey, this is the theme for the party tonight. Why don't
You were on the guest list.
Yeah, trust me, I created the guest list.
I'm trying to figure out what Quinn's doing.
So my iPad turned off.
Oh,
So he's trying to figure that out.
he's trying to save you. I got it because I'm wondering why he needs a laptop and an iPad when we're flying blind.
Just to put him on video.
Gotcha.
That's all.
Gotcha. All right. So National Sudoku Day, and a little would you rather? Would you rather, in the honor of us not being incredible in school, would you rather go back to school for a week, knowing what you know now, or would you rather just go back to school in general? You know what I mean? Like not knowing what you know now, like everything, all the history, all that stuff, or would you rather just go back to school and not and just kind of let it happen as it is?
Yeah, that's a pretty good one.
Wall must be here. I hear clanging and banging everywhere.
You know what? Probably just go back in school. I mean, I got to be better than I was this last time. So,
would you want to, or would you want to just keep living it up? You only get a week. And what week would you take? That's an add-on question. What week would you go back?
I don't know. We've always had that thought. Like when you get older, you kind of think back, man, I wish I could have done a couple things differently in school. Like that's usually always the first one is I wish I would have paid attention more. So I'd probably pick that one. Yeah.
All right. But you go back knowing what you know now?
No.
You want to go just
well, if I could go back the full amount of time knowing what I know now.
No, just a week.
No, the full time.
No, just a week.
Sure. A week.
What you arguing with me? Like I'm making the questions, buddy. You're not gonna
I guess I'm just confused on the question.
Okay. So you're going back in time. Okay. You either get to go back in time and know everything that you've known for the last 36, right? 35. So the last 17 years of history, of all this stuff, you get to go back for a week and be a high schooler. Or you get to go back for a week and not know any of that stuff.
Oh, knowing what I know now.
Okay.
Yeah.
There we go. Now we got it. And what week would you go back for? Any particular one? Graduation, prom, a special game, special event?
Probably a football game. I don't think it would matter which one. I mean, any of them, that'd be a lot of fun to do. I mean, I used to beat up on my rival, so that's really not a memorable thing. My rival was LeBray, so
they're gonna beat up on you.
Hopefully they beat up on somebody this week. Yeah, probably a rival or a football game in general.
All right. EB, how about you?
I would definitely go back knowing what I know now. The week, going to be spring break. I mean, I might go spring break, or I'd probably go back like there was always like a week in December or January, whatnot, where you get 2 or 3 basketball games. And if I'm in high school shape, I'll definitely go back for that week. If I get to know what I know now and I get to be in high school shape, I'll go back during basketball season.
Fair enough. I like that. Let's bring in Paulie.
Can I just go back to high school and be in high school shape?
That's facts too. That's definitely that.
Knowing what I know now, I'd work out a little more and eat a little less. For me, if I'm only getting to go back to school for a week, knowing what I know now, I would go back for the full meal deal. I've said it before. I mean, if I could go back, I'd do it all over again, and be a little better. But not if I know what I know now just for a week. No, I wouldn't do that. Because I mean, what's a week going to do for you? Now, send me back there for the full pull.
I think there's history up. Knowing exactly what I know now.
What if you went back 20 years ago this week? Could you prevent something from happening?
Oh, I would definitely do that. I mean, I don't know if they listen to a.
They probably think you're crazy, but throw you in a loony bin.
Well, they'd probably.
And then they'd arrest you for predicting it.
They'd associate me with the crime. I'm not going down for this, Ricky Bobby. I mean, yeah, I would try. That's not where I would go back to. If I had all of the 4 years of high school to go back, that's not where I would go back to. I would go back my senior year. I'd go knowing what I know now, and I'd probably have some things to say to some people. You know what I mean? Like some of those guys and gals that thought they were highfalutin, if you will.
How many people at East Palestine are like highfalutin, as you call it?
A lot of people thought they were.
That's funny.
I mean, listen, we have some.
He's losing his mind right now.
I don't know what he's laughing about.
Because I feel the same way about my town. There's a lot of people like they literally thought Newton Falls is the center of the world.
That's it.
And it's weird because in Braceville, they're like Newton. So you have Newton Falls, Braceville, and Leavittsburg that kind of come together over there by where Duke and Dutchess and like the truck stop there.
Yeah,
it's called the center of the world. People actually thought that was the center of the world, and Newton Falls was attached to it.
Yeah, I think in high school, anytime you're in high school, you think that that's it, right? You don't have much to go on. Like you don't have life experience or anything like that. Your parents, and when you're a senior, this is everywhere. When you're a senior, your parents make you up to be, it's a special year for you, right? And then you get out and life kicks your ass. Like that's just how it works. Whether you're a freshman in college or whether you get out and start the workforce, like life beats you down. And you learn real quick that special year that was your senior year isn't going to come around again.
I don't even know if if any year in high school is a top 10 year in my life. And I didn't have a terrible high school. Like,
my junior and senior year, I liked my high school. I liked my high school years better than I liked my college years. I can tell you that, for the exception of meeting my eventual wife.
It's just weird because like your parents would always say, this is an important year. This is going to be a special year. They use all those adjectives. Big word for Jeff. And I couldn't consider any year in high school a top 10 year in my life so far.
Quinn, what about you?
I agree. College was way better for me than high school was. I mean, what's that?
Oh, you did before.
Well, I mean, I had fun in high school though too. I jerked around and didn't do what I should have done in high school, but
I totally thought I was going somewhere else.
I was, but I'm just saying, like, I wasn't as outgoing as I was in high school as I was in college. In college, I blossomed a lot more. I was more outgoing, had more friends, and went out and did stuff a lot more. In high school, I had my friends and we did things, but I mean, it wasn't like, crazy like it was in college. College was a lot more fun. Maybe that's why it took me 5.5 years to get out of there. But I mean, still.
Are you
in college, Paul was a peacock. Just let him spread his wings.
That's right.
Damn, that hurts the eardrums.
It's like the Stone Cold entrance. Like the
yeah,
glass
it sounds
breaks.
like glass shattering. Yeah, I don't know. Quinn, would talk about? You didn't do this yet. You didn't do the Would You Rather. Brought to you by Baird Brothers, by the way, BairdBrothers.com. Would you rather go back and know, for a week and know everything you know now, or just go back and take it as it is?
Yeah, I'd probably go back. I mean,
that's not the question.
I'd go back and know everything.
Okay, there it is.
I'd go back and know everything. I mean, I would definitely go back to my final that I failed. That I had to take Italian in college.
Italian?
Yeah, because I couldn't pass my Italian classes in school.
Aren't you Italian?
Shut up. Okay, just shut up. I don't want to. I didn't pay attention.
Puscario. Explodes in your mouth.
I would go back to that so I could pass the test and not take it in college. That was
one test. That's your major drawback.
That's it. I hated high school. I truly hated high school.
One test.
That's it. I'd go back for one test. So
Quinn looks like a state patrol officer right now.
So
he looks like the Terminator.
To go off and going back, everyone here got injured in high school, right? Pretty much.
I didn't. I was good. I just
failed
English and wasn't eligible to play football.
Like we were going through this, I would probably go back to that week, knowing what I know now to prevent that injury.
That is a good point.
I don't know. I had 7 concussions. There's a couple.
So you can pick a week or two.
Nobody drugged me off the field after my concussions. They're like, "Oh, you just got your bell rung."
Oh my God,
That's a good point, EB. I mean, injuries. You could, but would you do anything different? Like, would you cut different? Would you say?
But if you
out.
know what you know now, like if I know what I know now, I wouldn't have jumped for that rebound or gone out, or I would have lined up somewhere else. Or
like, aren't you afraid of that Final Destination stuff that's out there? Like, that's what scares the shit out of me. Is like when you
changed one thing.
Yep.
Butterfly effect. Yeah.
Is that what that? I just remember the Final Destination. Like they get out of doing something like that was supposed to happen to them, and
but it comes back and gets you later on.
That's what the plane crash one.
Yeah.
I just remember the. Yeah, I remember that, and then there was the one with the logs.
Yeah.
yes,
And anytime I'm behind a log truck now, I'm scared to death.
I'm looking. Like, hey,
Yeah, because in Final Destination they cheated death, but death ended up getting him in another way somewhere else. So now you got to wonder, okay, I didn't injure myself there, but now is that injury going to come somewhere else down the line? But I've said the same thing, like Billy said, the butterfly effect, where if you change one thing, you're not where you are today because you've changed that one thing. So, I mean, listen, like, oh, you regrets. Could you go back and change one thing in your life that you could do? Nope, nothing. Any of the crazy, dumb, illegal stuff I did in my life led me to where I am today. So I wouldn't change it.
Illegal stuff, you said.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Last week.
You
Go back 1 week.
That's true. I don't remember. That was on Friday, though, right? Yeah, that was Friday.
I think so.
It was Friday because I was sitting in the office watching Paul do misdemeanor stuff. Paul, you wouldn't do that as a 44-year-old, though.
No, yeah, that's a rookie move at 43. Again, though, the windows were down and the air conditioning was on. I don't want to hear it with this crap.
I love it. We're kidding. Obviously, we wouldn't want anything to happen to Paul. It's just fun to finally have something on him other than what we already have.
Yeah. But I am thirsty for some chocolate milk, DJ. Can you help me out with that?
Oh, Uncle Tony's got some cleaning to do.
Oh, that's great. I heard that. It was awesome.
This is why I can't have friends. This is why I cannot have friends. Yeah, that's a story for another day. That's a story for hopefully 2 years from now. But thanks, bitch. Let's get to some topics of today. I mean, we're here at Beaver Local on location, where the mighty Beaver Local Beavers will take on the East Liverpool Potters, which a lot of people in this area, especially Columbiana County, this is the game. This is the only other game that I look at. There's a lot of rivalry games and some fresh rivalries. Obviously, Ursuline and Fitch has the highlight of this one. One that I thought was going to be big was going to be United versus Valley Christian. That's off the table now. Brookfield and Liberty off the table. Is this the highest rated game this Friday? I mean, from a standpoint of outside of obviously Ursuline and Fitch, is this the game?
No.
No.
It's LeBray good.
Yeah.
Even there, like you have the same scenario where kids go to are friends with Garrettsville kids, and they live in Nelson or they live in Garrettsville, and they go to LeBray. So you have that same type. It's not the same town, of course, but they have that. This is the first year that LeBray and Garrettsville has ever been in a conference. Plus, the game, means everything. This game's going to decide who wins the league in week 4. Like we thought we were going to get with United and Valley Christian.
I'm going to battle as B right now. That's what I'm going to do. Won't you get it? Paul, where you think Garrettsville and LeBray as well?
Yeah, I like that game as well. That's going to be a big one. And that's just, you've got two good teams that are going to have a slugfest. I mean, Garrettsville coming off their big win last week against JFK, and LeBray just doing what they've been doing, week in and week out. So, yeah, I like that game as well. And I mean, but again, the game that I really did talk about and I hyped up that, Billy and Quinn are going to get to go to is, that Louisville-Springfield game. That to me, I think is one of the other star games that we have this week.
I think this game is a bigger game than that one.
So you're going what? Garrettsville, Garfield versus LeBray. Then you're going East Liverpool.
No, I'll go Fitch or Fitch and Ursuline.
Okay.
And then I would go Beaver Local as number 3 on my list. But like, there's 4 really good ones out there, and this is 3 of them.
I think there's more than that. I don't think this
There's a couple more.
this could be a conference decider right here.
Mhm.
I do believe that. I mean, you look at what these two teams have been through already. East Liverpool, my goodness, they got West Branch, they got Salem already. I think they're hiding in the weeds. But you look at this team that put up 53 points last week. It's going to be interesting, boys and girls. It's going to be interesting. EB, what's your game to keep your eye on this week?
I mean, there's a couple. I personally think it's Springfield Lowville, because you've had such like a hype build up for that, especially in that conference, and they've been conference foes for however long now. Like, and Lowville naturally spoils someone's season, it seems like, every year. Now they kind of like the narrative has kind of switched a little bit, because they kind of have a target on their back, but they don't. And I don't know if it's, obviously we know everything about Vinny Balone. He's always been overshadowed by Bo, rightfully so. But we know some of the weapons Lowville has, and you have some emerging weapons for Springfield. I think from a small school standpoint, that's probably the game. Outside of that, I mean, I agree with you guys. The break, Garrettsville, and then Ursuline and Fitch. Ursuline and Fitch is kind of the easy one just because of who they are. I think the most interesting one is going to be the G-Men versus Vikings.
There's 3 votes for that right now. This is interesting. Quinn, was that a comment that popped up? All right, do you want to read it, or you're off? Okay.
Your mic still works.
Your mic's still on, homeboy. Or you could, come over and join us.
I forgot. I'm sorry. Yeah, Sigler chimed in. Said Beaver Local leads the all-time series 22-21 here.
So this is a big one for Liverpool. Tying things up.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's a toss-up. I like that Garrettsville-Garfield game as well. But you know what? And I say this with all due respect. For some reason, it's always the one that people forget about the most.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's always the one that people look at and they go, yeah, it's a good game. But it's because the coverage area. I'm just going to say it. It's the coverage area. They're in the middle of nowhere where people don't really touch them. And I really feel like, WTOV or who else is out there? Cleveland. We went to a restaurant, Quinn, and Cleveland Sports was on. So it's interesting to me.
Yeah, as soon as you get Portage County there, it's all Cleveland stuff.
No man's land.
Yeah.
What, Channel 19?
Channel 19, Channel 8.
Channel 8. So, I mean, you look at it, and I think around here, when people look at rivalries, that's one they overlook just because they're not familiar with it. So we're going to do everything we can to change that up, because I'm with you. I think that's a great rivalry. Coach Mosier and Coach Armini out there, 2 guys that have a lot of pride and have a lot go on the line going into this year.
And I really think of the teams that we believe that's going to make a nice run in the playoffs, there's 2 of them right there that are going to play against each other. And they're not in the same division. So they're not going to play each other in the playoffs. This is a one-time done, and we'll see where Garrettsville goes. They got to run through South Range and Kirtland and some of those big teams in Division 5.
When we come back, we got a lot more to talk about, getting you ready for tomorrow, getting you ready for tonight. YSN Primetime live from Beaver Local High School. We'll have interviews with Coach McKenzie and some of his senior players here tonight. That begins at 5 o'clock on the dot right here on ysnlive.com. We're going to come back. We're going to talk about this COVID shit, because I'm over it. I know you guys are too. 2 more games are down, possibly we're hearing rumors about a 3rd one. So we'll keep you up to date and informed when we come back on the YSN Power Hour, brought to you by these great sponsors.
New things happen all day. Some are good, some not so good. In today's complicated world, while you're busy working, playing, and living life, we're busy helping you make sense of the day's news. And there's only one place where it comes together with clarity, context, and accountability. It's 21 News at 6 with me, Madison Tromler, and Derek Steyer.
21 News at 6. It's what the day's news really means to you.
Welcome home to a home made homier with Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods. Inspiration starts at BairdBrothers.com. and is turned into reality when high-quality hardwoods are delivered right to your home. Baird Brothers has the latest design trends: shiplap and skinny lap interior siding, antique oak rustic flooring, and, well, you'll find them all at BairdBrothers.com. Ordered easily, delivered conveniently, enjoyed comfortably. BairdBrothers.com.
At Greenwood Chevrolet, shop with confidence knowing we're ready to go the extra mile for you. With the largest selection of used vehicles in the Valley, backed by the Greenwood Advantage Warranty. Every one of our vehicles has undergone our own 126-point inspection, so it passes the most important inspection, yours. No other dealership has the extra inventory, gives you extra for your trade, and goes the extra mile for you. Only at Greenwood Chevrolet.
WRS Wealth Advisors, the area's premier wealth and retirement specialists. Located on South Avenue in Boardman.
Quality, customer service, and integrity. Those are the 4 words that have driven our success since 1957 at Joe Dickey Electric.
Joe Dickey Electric is one Mahoning Valley landmark business that stays current with the requirements of our customers. Family owned and managed, we are an electrical contractor and energy solutions provider. Every member of our team adds to his or her skill set through ongoing training. Residential, commercial, industrial, automotive, and more. We keep ahead of the needs of our customers with a fleet of more than 50 vehicles and 24/7 emergency service, so you're never left in the dark.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the campus of Beaver Local High School. DJ Yoakley, as well as Mr. McCartney to my right. We got Quinn right in front of me. EB is here, as well as Paul Munson. Gentlemen, COVID strikes again this week. Not pretty once again. Frustrating. Frustrating, I think, is the word that we're all starting to feel. When you think about this season against last season, 2 more games canceled today on a Thursday. And I can appreciate schools trying to wait till the last minute and make a decision and do the right thing. But Valley Christian United, dunzo. Brookfield and Liberty, dunzo. Another one that we're hearing about, dunzo. So I'm interested to see kind of, or hear rather, your thoughts, guys, on where this is going to be. Is this going to get worse before it gets better, or where do you feel this is going to end? EB?
No, it's definitely going to get worse before it gets better. I mean, it's just it's that time of the year, and you're seeing. I think a lot of this is part of it. It's media driven, where you're getting some hysteria from it. Like I saw an article, and I believe it was about Crestview. They had however many kids out, but you could tell the narrative was to go towards like COVID, but they didn't mention like Crestview also battled a hand, foot, and mouth disease, outbreak too, which, it's that time of the year. Like it happens every year. You're off all summer. You don't see a lot of people. Then you have hundreds of kids or whatnot coming to school, and, essentially it becomes a big petri dish. And it's not saying that, COVID isn't a real thing. We all know that. We've been dealing with it for 2-3 years now. There's just got to be a better plan, and I don't know what that is. If it's one kid who has it, then maybe he gets removed for that 10 days or whatever it is, and you have to maybe monitor these other kids. And if there's no other outbreaks or cases, then you got to play these games, or you can play these games. It's there's no perfect solution. I'm not sure if there is a solution, but the rate things are going, it's going to get worse before it gets better.
Partner?
I don't know if it's going to get worse before it gets better. I think this is just the world we live in. This is what it is. This is what it's become. And a lot of people in society today are okay accepting the fact that this is what it is. So until people say we're done with it, or here's a solution for it, which I don't know the correct way to deal with that, but I just think this is what it is. You're going to see this not just this year. You're going to deal with this for the next couple of years at least. So this isn't going to be new. It's going to be the same way in basketball season this year. It's going to be the same in baseball and softball and whatnot. So this is just get familiar with it because this is the new world we live in.
I think it's amazing, and Paul will get to you in your thought here in just a moment. But isn't it amazing that we didn't really deal with it at all this summer? It kind of went away. It kind of just disappeared, and all of a sudden, you get the sniffles, and all of a sudden these COVID tests return and things. And I'm not saying that we should, conspiracy theory, but
the difference is school's not in session. So like school basically controls you and dictates how things are going to be run on the athletic side. When school's in session, not in baseball and soccer and stuff that's happening outside of school activity, AAU, things of that nature. It's not run by the school, so they're going to push through things and basically tell you stay home. What EB just said. Hey, this kid's sick. Stay home. Come back when you're starting to feel better. That kind of deal. Almost like the way we used to do things.
Kind of wild.
So it's just different people run school. I just use that term loosely because a lot of people think it's political. A lot of people think it's money. There's a lot of different things that go into it. But at the end of the day, when people start to, put their fist down and say, we're not going to accept this anymore, then maybe things will change. Until then, this is my belief is this is what it's going to be like for the next couple of years.
Paul?
I agree. These administrations, I definitely don't want to have their jobs having to deal with, the community and the kids and stuff. I was fishy about it too, DJ. I had the same thing, same thought process. Like all summer long, we went to concerts, we went to swimming pools, we went to baseball games. Everybody did all this stuff all summer long, and you didn't hear about this uptick or that was coming back, like kids not coming to games and doing that stuff. And now all of a sudden we're in school, and with the first week of school, you got 5 or 6 kids out because of contact. And now, almost every week we're missing a game or two. We lost 2 games this week, but really we lost 1 because the one team was able to pick up another opponent. But it's like, is this what it's going to be like every week? And it might be that way, unfortunately. I kind of like what there's a couple schools in our network that, they've got the ability to test kids frequently. And I like what they're doing. Like it's the analogy I gave is everybody's on the bus. One kid gets sick. Okay, you stop the bus, you take that kid off the bus, everybody else tests, they're okay. The bus is going to keep moving. When that kid gets healthy, put him back on the bus. But until then, you move that one kid aside and everybody else goes forward. Not every school's got that ability, and I understand that not every school's got the ability to test their kids to make sure everybody's healthy and the sick kid goes away for a little bit and he comes back when he's healthy. They have to shut everything down because I don't for one second believe the schools that have had to cancel some games today that every single kid on their team is sick. It might be 1 or 2 kids, but now the entire team gets kind of, I don't want to say punished because punish is the wrong word, but they suffer the consequences of this virus that's out there because of this. And if schools had a little more ability to have access to these tests a little more, I think it would probably help out because you would have that process of, okay, little Joey, sorry, buddy, you're sick right now. Stay over there. But everybody else, fight through. Next man up. Let's go. We're going to play this game. We're going to go through it instead of, canceling games. So, but I agree with Billy. I think we're going to see this for a while because, we've all said it on our private chats too. Where's the flu? Where are seasonal allergies at? Where's all that stuff at right now? Everything just happens to be COVID. And it's like, come on.
Do you think that these are confirmed cases or it's they're going home sick and in precautionary because the results haven't come back yet, that they've canceled games for that reason? Do you think it's a little bit of that as well? Or
I think they're confirmed cases because I know if I'm a coach and they say, well, this kid went home sick and he's not feeling well, so we're going to cancel your game. I'm going to be like, no, if this is a confirmed case, I need to know it. Like, you're not shutting me down for speculation. You're going to shut me down because somebody has it, and there was kids that were around that person. Not, well, we think he might be sick, so we're going to stop your game. I think you would have a huge uproar if that's the case.
I would agree. That's why I'm curious to see, something on the nature of like, hey, a couple of these kids are just sick in general, because like you said, the flu hasn't went away. seasonal allergies, and then some kids are just naturally a little bit more sick than others, and it may not even be necessarily something serious, but if they are cutting games away because a couple kids got the sniffles, then that's no good.
I want to give a shout out to Quinn for showing off the Beaver local sponsors, but not giving ours any love. To this.
My bad.
Oh, okay. Well,
that's part of the show.
Yeah, just a little bit. I mean, the ones that pay.
Remember
us.
when you were talking shit about us being bald? This is what you get.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. We had an outlet over here that needed fixed. I'm sorry.
And what did you do?
You wasn't like you over here like figuring it out.
I held it.
That's about all you ever do. I held it. I held it. That one time. All right. So these two games that get canceled, obviously, very, very challenging. For Coach Hake to find a game in 24 hours notice. And obviously, they're familiar with playing on. Paul, mute yourself for a second, please. Thank you. So they're obviously familiar with playing on Saturdays. You know what I mean? So that's not a big deal for them. However, right now they're looking for teams to play, and there's nobody just popping up. I mean, teams are nervous because you look at Crestview got pinged today. They were supposed to have a volleyball match with Garfield, and they're not able to play. And that was two undefeated teams in that volleyball match. Anthony was going to go out there. I kind of forced the issue on that. I'm not going to lie to you. And then obviously when we got the word this morning, it's like, oh crap. Like, and now I feel like a jerk. But at the same time, like now it's affecting volleyball. And we said, and I'm not going to sit here and pat me on the back and say, I told you so. After the Canfield Fair, we called this. We called this stuff happening because now it's the official, I guess, unofficial start of the school year. Because you get the first weekend or so, and then it's fair season. Some schools take the week off or part of the week off, and now you come back and it's time to hit your nose in the books. This is just the beginning, boys. This is really just the beginning. Are we going to see, if you had a magic 8-ball, are we going to see back to 50% capacity? Are we going to go back to the rules of yesteryear of 2020 where, hey, we're only going to allow so many people at the games and it's going to be the parents or the, if you have a digital ticket or whatever, magic beans or whatever you have, are we going back to that? Because we made it through 16 weeks of football last year. No problem.
No, I don't see that happening. I think, because mainly the people that are coming to the games are the adults, and they're going to, assume, which you should never assume, obviously, but they're going to assume the people are vaccinated, and, adults have that ability to go get vaccinated, and they're going to say, well, they're okay, and we're not going to not push that issue. Do I see things changing in the school? I do. As much as I hate to say it, I can see masks coming back into school for the kids. Because right now, a lot of schools, it's optional. And I can see them saying, listen, you need to have it, because that's the crazy thing. And we were all talking about it in our text the other day about, like, if little Joey's vaccinated, he's around somebody who got sick, he doesn't have to quarantine now. He doesn't have to be around it because he was vaccinated, or if he was wearing a mask. It's like, I think they're going to say, listen, if we tell everybody you got to wear a mask in school now, it'll help from the kids being out, and we don't have to worry about it. But that's a great point. If you see a lot of crowd restrictions, schools are going to make cuts because schools took a big hit last year, and we did the best we could as our company to help them out, but they still took a huge hit, and they're still reeling this year. I mean, there's some schools that have told kids, listen, we're not buying equipment and uniforms and stuff for you because we just don't have the money. So now you take their gates away that they were hoping to have this year. Now maybe some of your non-revenue sports just go away for a year or two.
Yeah, I think that would be a bad situation. Sorry, I thought you were picking up the mic.
I did.
Okay.
Oh, I don't think, I think in life in general, it's harder to take something away than it is to give it back. One of those deals. So I think once you made the decision that, hey, we're full capacity, something big would have to happen, where we're cutting back again.
Like a global pandemic?
Like a global pandemic, but like back to the numbers that we had, last March or not last March, but the year before last March. What was that, 2019?
Mm-hmm.
So it would have to be something. It'd have to be something crazy like that. I just can't imagine that some of these schools, and obviously Paul hit on the numbers and money wise. I just don't imagine that we're at the point now where we've had enough, and we just don't want to go back to the mask and that kind of thing. So I think if you tell these parents and grandparents and just adults in general, like, hey, you can't come in back to like, because I know at LeBray, what they did in football season last year was they gave 2 tickets out to each player. So that would essentially be for mom and dad. And if mom and dad couldn't come, grandma and grandpa came, or aunt and uncle, or whoever. But that was kind of, and a lot of schools kind of did similar things.
Correct.
But I can't imagine going back to that. It's just, like I said, the biggest part is we can always talk about money. Money rules the world, so that's kind of what it is. But I can't imagine them just saying, "Hey, we're not going to do this 50% thing." They'll enforce masks in schools. Again, they can control their kids. They can't necessarily control the adults of their kids.
So I'm interested because last year, and obviously it wasn't 100%, retrieval rate, I guess is what they're calling it, of the funds. But there was money back from the government, the COVID money, so to speak, is what people are talking about, that some of the schools receive more than others. I mean, every school has a different story, obviously. Same with us, but you look at that and, if the government mandates this, the government will obviously supplement some of that lost income as they did last year. So I'm interested to see if this actually comes through. Very interested to see if how things are handled and who's going to pull the trigger on this one way or the other. Is it going to be Governor DeWine again? Is it going to be the OHSAA? Is it going to, we're still waiting on the OHSAA to let everybody into the playoffs, because I still think that's going to happen.
To me, it's going to have to be the governor to make that decision. That's the big trigger, I think, that I was speaking about a minute ago.
And he wants reelected, so screw with the people again.
and he exactly, like Paul said, he wants to be elected, and it's unfortunate you have to deal with money and also politics into it. I mean, you got in certain towns, you got community mayors that are lifetime mayors that want to be reelected, and people on the board of education that get elected, and that collect a nice fat paycheck to sit on there and tell the kids no all the time. So people in the school as well. So people like their jobs at the end of the day, because when there is a global pandemic, jobs are few and far between, like we've seen over the last 18 months or so. So it just sucks when you're dealing. It's not always about what's best for the kids, and this is kind of the way the world is right now.
EB, you have a take on this?
Yeah, I mean, Billy and Paul kind of hit on most of it, but I don't see them going back to 50% capacity. If they try to, there's going to be a huge pushback. And it's easy, like Billy said, to follow the money. But a lot of these games, especially come football season, they keep a lot of other businesses in flush or in afloat right now because of just people traveling through or food after the games, this and that. And I just don't think these schools can really, the majority of them, we have some small schools around here where sports really keep everything going. And if you do that, like I know Seidel said it, like you're not only going to see sports programs cut, but you might start to see schools sitting there say, look, we're in the red, and this is going to put us in the red, not for a year, not two, but 5 to 10 down the road. So you're going to start to see a bunch of pushback, and I think people are just to the point where they'll sit there and say, look, last year masks were supposed to save everything. If this is what we have to do, then we'll wear the damn mask for football season, or if we're next to each other. But look, we also want to live too. Like you cooped us up for 18 months or whatever it was. And it was always a different story. It's always a different story, always a different story. Now people just say, look, we don't give a shit. We want to go watch our kids play football. And I want to go watch my neighbor play football or volleyball or in the band or whatever it is. So you're just going to start seeing pushback. And if you do that to, schools, then you're going to have to turn around and sit there, and whoever it is, the governor or whatnot, is going to have to do it to businesses. And I honestly believe businesses will sit there and say, you know what, screw you, we're not doing it. What, you're going to try to shut us down? We're just going to, the businesses are going to come together and start to sue the state, and they're going to have a good case. But you can't do it. And look, we've done this song and dance. The worst thing that I can see schools doing maybe is treating it sort of like maybe some of these concert venues did, and you have to prove that you're vaccinated, or you have to have a negative test before you come into our stadium.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting because the NFL, some of these stadiums are doing that. Some of these counties that the stadiums are held in or housed in are doing that. So it's going to be interesting to see how because I think that, again, this is a copycat.
Ain't nothing like the NFL losing money on ticket sales, and then they say, hey, you need a vaccination or a negative test to come into their stadium.
Yeah, and all of a sudden that goes away. I mean, that's what we heard. I don't know if Buffalo's still doing that, but we'll find out, I guess, on Saturday or Sunday rather. Because I'm interested, because there's some Steeler fans that want to go watch some Steeler football that weren't able to do so last year, and Buffalo is not that far away. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting, and obviously high schools are going to be really, really interesting to see how they handle things over the next few weeks. Quinn, you got something?
No, just Chris Sigler chiming in, said the president is preaching economic recovery, which sports are a big part of.
If there's one thing I can tell you guys, we tried the sports going away thing. What, about a year and a half ago? It didn't go well. It didn't go well at all. And if there's one thing that is recession-proof and pandemic-proof, it's going to be sports. We're going to play sports no matter what, because, again, sports is something that brings us together. If there's no sports, good luck. You're looking at trouble. Politically, you're looking at trouble everywhere.
You're looking on like, what was that old TV show, House on a Prairie? Paul lived those times, right, Paul? What was that show called?
Little House on the Prairie.
Yeah. See, Paul knows. Paul knows what I'm talking about.
He's got the whole VHS copy of the entire season. All right, let's get to the. What are you giggling about over there?
I could see Paul's face, and it's just he's so disgusted with that whole comment.
Let's get to the Joe Dickey Electric. What's your spark, Quinn, if you would? We're good. All right, then back to the show here. Joe Dickey Electric. What's your spark? Brought to you by our friends over at Joe Dickey Electric. Anything commercial, anything residential, hey, anything electrical. Head over to DickeyElectric.com and get suited and booted today. Gentlemen, let's lead things off. Paul, what's your spark?
My spark was just, it's a good one, a positive one. Just all the well wishes and birthday wishes I got yesterday. It was great. Just all the people reaching out, family and friends. And, you never realize how many people you connect with until you start seeing something like that. And it was really nice. I appreciated it. And, just appreciate all my friends and family that are out there. And it was good. So
I appreciate the photo of you on the porch. That was awesome.
Listen, there was another picture that my wife wanted to put out there. That was my picture. I put that out myself, and I thanked everybody. But she had a picture of me at the beach, and she's like, I so wanted to use this picture, and I was like, great, thanks. No, don't do that.
Just know that.
So, I bet. I bet it's out there. So, and then we just got another cool thing for. I mean, I know it's still football season, but we just got an email about the 4th annual Holiday Hoops Classic. We got some big teams that are going to be in the YSN Hoops Classic this year. So it's exciting coming up.
Do tell. I haven't opened. I saw it come through. Who's in it?
Yeah, so this will be December 28th and 29th at South Range. You've got obviously the Raiders. You got Akron Hoban coming in. You got Nordonia, Marlington, Garfield, Talmadge, Howland, and Fort Fry.
Wow.
And every single team on there was either a district, regional, state, runner-up, winner, or a finalist. So
Donnie Farron is gigging right now. He is gigging. He is loving it. You see them teams?
Yeah.
All right. EB, what's your spark?
Kind of got two. One, the negative. I've had this freaking eyelash poking me in the eye for like the past day, and I'm not sure if you can cut eyelashes off, but it's about to freaking happen. I almost pulled a Paul. Almost pulled a Paul.
About to go down.
It's about to go down. And I don't know if this is a negative or positive. I think it's a funny spark. But shout out to one of my AAU players, Kylie Wilson, for completely been like lifting on a ball at a volleyball game last night and smashing her face off the floor, which I'm sure Quinn can show you the video because I've watched it probably about 95 times, and it is hilarious. But she's okay, so that's all that matters.
Yeah, as long as she's all right, we're cool with that. Otherwise, I'm like, damn, that's kind of a dick move.
Oh, it's this video is so funny.
Especially since her dad's one of our sponsors. I'm sitting there like, oh, here we go, tiptoe. Mr. Matt?
Mine's a negative spark. You know, Quinn and I yesterday cleaned out the garage, and I think with all the dust and dirt and whatnot, I felt like shit for about 12 hours yesterday, and up until, you know, probably the time I got here. I just didn't feel all that well. Not COVID related. Don't trust me. I took a test. It came back positive for awesomeness. So, but yeah, I just felt really terrible last night. I had the chills. I was freezing cold no matter what. I had a hoodie on. Then I was hot as hell. That was a hot mess.
That was the worst swerve ever. Because I immediately was like, oh crap. As soon as you said positive, I'm like, man, why?
Yeah.
Quinn, go ahead.
Mine's a positive spark. You know, this first time being down here since we came down for that the Derek White Day and seeing
Wolf.
Wolf. I knew that.
His name's Jeff Bezos. He just goes wherever we're at. That's the spark.
Listen, it's the field. Look at the field, Billy. Look around you. It's beautiful. I haven't seen it since then. It's incredible.
Tomorrow his spark will be that we're going to do the Springfield Louisville game.
No, it won't be.
Positive spark is we're going to the Springfield Louisville game.
Not at all.
It's really nice out. It's 70 degrees and sunny.
Yeah, I don't have to work today.
I wear these really cool sunglasses. Look like the Terminator.
Are you who you muted? Him?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, my voice is so loud that it doesn't.
I need it all. Still there. It's off.
Put me back. Okay. Put me back on. All right. Well, good spark, Quinn. I'm proud of you. Yes, it's beautiful facilities here. Beaver Local. It's one of my favorite places to come. It really is. Eric Lowe does a great job out here as a superintendent. One of our best buddies, Bob Beam, the athletic director, helped us put the tent up, and now he's coaching some tennis next door. We're gonna go check that out here.
Kate said
right
we're
after.
done, by the way, Billy, for some reason.
As in, like, you're done cleaning. Not like that she's done with him.
I don't know. It might be she's done with him.
It could be a mixture of everything.
I'm pretty sure I embarrass her almost every day.
That's all right, because you do the brand right. You do the brand right, young William. All right, mine is going to be point blank. I was going to steal yours, Quinn. I'm sorry. I'm sorry because I made fun of you for it.
That's fine.
My spark is going to be just being able to hang out with you guys on a daily basis. And I know that's very generic, but until you see a setup like this, until you see people coming out and putting the tent up and putting we had a third camera, 3 cameras up. Now we have 3 cameras. Like these guys, basically volunteers, and they do it. And you guys that are sitting there outside, you're volunteers too. I mean, nobody's getting paid for this show. It all goes right back into YSN. So I can't appreciate you guys enough. I hope these kids appreciate you 10 times what?
Kate chimed in again.
Yep.
After
She's over.
Awesomeness, we are over.
Done.
I got an extra couch, pal.
There's 2 down at YSN.
There's 3. So 1 for you, 1 for him, and probably 1 for me now because I'm testing positive as well. So for awesomeness.
Awesomeness
wasn't as good as yours. That's going to do it. Hey, folks, don't forget 5 o'clock tonight. We will have Coach McKenzie. We will have, I think, 4 seniors from Beaver Local on. We're going to talk the Beaver Local game that they play East Liverpool tomorrow night. We're also going to have a complete schedule, literally going right down it, up to date. We're going to see if Coach Hake has come up with an opponent for tomorrow or Saturday yet. We'll have updates on that. And we will talk all kinds of football coming up on YSN Primetime Live at 5 o'clock. Until then, wave the damn banner.